Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So, CM Punk named his 6 greatest pro wrestlers of all time. Now, it's interesting that CM Punk uses the term pro wrestler because he is a sports entertainer. Anyone who's on TV, AEW, WWE, really all of professional wrestling is sports entertainment. Yes, we can call ourselves professional wrestlers. That's sort of like the true art form of it all, but we are entertainers and we are sports entertainers. That's really what it is, because the only way to draw actual money in quote unquote professional wrestling is to be a sports entertainer. But a lot of guys like your CM Punks of the world still think of themselves as pro wrestlers. So when you think about it like that way, you then hear these 6 names of CM Punk's greatest pro wrestlers of all time, not WWE superstars or whatever the case may be. I mean, John Cena considers himself a sports entertainer and a WWE superstar. So when he names his greatest of all time, he's going right to those names like a Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, sort of more of the entertainment type. When CM Punk thinks about his greatest of all time, he goes to the more pro wrestler type. So here's who CM Punk named as his 6 greatest pro wrestlers of all time: Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, Terry Funk, Eddie Guerrero, Harley Race, and Dusty Rhodes. There are a couple names on that list that I really, really like. Some of those names I wouldn't include on my greatest of all time. We know Bret Hart is the most bitter professional wrestler of all time, but also one of the best to ever do it. Everyone loves Eddie Guerrero. He's also one of the best to ever do it. Roddy Piper is that situation where he's probably the best wrestler of all time to never win a world title and stellar on the microphone. Harley Race, I actually got to meet and work with him at one of the Harley Race wrestling academies with another wrestler named Barrett Brown. That was an incredible experience. And of course, Dusty Rhodes, like what a legend Dusty Rhodes is. Never really got into the Terry Funk stuff, but just being a a fan and a historian of professional wrestling, we know how good Terry Funk is. So this is a very fascinating and highly respectable list from CM Punk, right? It obviously reflects his appreciation for different styles and eras and the overall art of professional wrestling, as I said, right? Really moving beyond some of the commercial picks like a Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin that really often dominate the greatest of all time conversations, right? This list is not the greatest wrestler of all time, who drew the most money of all time. This is really CM Punk's favorite list. This is CM Punk's list of probably who he studied the most when he was trying to mold and shape himself as a professional wrestler, even though he is a sports entertainer now, right? You have a focus on some in-ring psychology and versatility, really, with Bret Hart and Eddie Guerrero. They could wrestle any style with any person, right? Like Bret Hart is like your quintessential technical wrestler, psychology focused. He could draw on a story, did draw money, and Punk always cites him as an influence. And then you have Eddie Guerrero, who influenced a generation and continues to influence professional wrestlers to this very day. R.I.P. Eddie Guerrero, right? He embodies the combination of everything you need to be a star, right? In-ring talent, can go with anyone and do any style, right? Tons of charisma, natural ability to play both a heel and a babyface, right? Eddie Guerrero, one of the best to ever do it. And then you look at 2 guys who were just masters of charisma and promo work: Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes, arguably 2 of the best talkers and most charismatic wrestlers in history, right? That goes to show you sort of where CM Punk got influenced by his ability to talk on the microphone. Now, I don't love CM Punk. I'm not a big fan of CM Punk, but the dude can sell a story and the dude can talk on the microphone, always has been able to do that. And then you go to the last couple on the list, there's like a real respect for, let's say, like old school and hardcore, right? Like Harley Race is like the nod to like that foundational era of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, right? A tough, legitimate champion, a badass, right? Who lent credibility to the sport, right? Harley Race was a badass up until the time he passed away. And then, Terry Funk, again, I said it wasn't huge into Terry Funk, but everyone knows how much of a badass Terry Funk was, right? Unparalleled longevity, willingness to innovate, hardcore wrestling and all that type of stuff. Obviously a commitment to storytelling that went far beyond his physical prime. He was a master. Terry Funk was a master at conveying emotion. And so I respect CM Punk's top six here, our six greatest professional wrestlers of all time, sort of combining all of these things from each pro wrestler to mold and shift and shape who CM Punk is as a professional wrestler. Because you can see a little bit of influence from each guy, from Hart, from Roddy Piper, from Funk, from Guerrero, from Race, from Rhodes. And I know CM Punk got to work with a few of these guys, so he was definitely influenced by that in that way. And he mentions Bret Hart almost all the time. And so I think that's a very unique and cool list from CM Punk, again, who I don't personally like, but have to respect as a professional wrestler and as a sports entertainer from what he's been able to do, how much money he's been able to draw, the crowds, the atmosphere, the emotion, the chants, all that stuff. And you can see, based on his list, who influenced him, how he got influenced, and what shaped him to be the professional wrestler / sports entertainer he is today. So what do you think of CM Punk's greatest pro wrestlers of all time? Do you have a distinction in your mind between pro wrestler and sports entertainer? If so, what is it? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.